Ms. Colo, it is your claim that the defendant did substandard work on your car.
Correct.
And I don't know what you want.
I want to be paid back for all of the money that I spent on work that wasn't the right work. I asked him to replace my shocks.
Okay.
A couple months later, they failed.
Just a second. Let's talk about first how old your car is.
It's 2003 Honda Element.
It's a 2003 Honda. When did you buy it?
2003, my parents bought it.
So that they used it and gave it to you?
Mm-hmm.
When did they give it to you?
2015.
And do you know what the current mileage is on the car?
200,000 miles, about.
And you brought it into the defendant to change the shocks on the car?
So I went into the mechanic asking if he could look at my car to make sure everything's okay.
Okay.
And he said, you need new shocks.
Listen to me. Nobody brings their car into a mechanic and say, you know what, I came for my annual checkup for my car, Ms. Colo. That doesn't happen. I am almost 3/4 of a century old, and I've had a lot of cars. The only time I bring my car in is when it's clunking or clinking or not running right. And I never knew anybody who brought a car to a mechanic that was running fine, that they didn't have trouble with, and said, could you please just look over my car and tell me if it's fine?
Well, so I was getting my oil changed.
Okay, so you were taking the car in for an oil change, and there was nothing else wrong with the car. Didn't make any noises or wasn't giving you any trouble. You just brought it in to him for an oil change.
Correct.
And when did you bring it in to him for an oil change?
November. I have the date.
You mean last November?
Yeah, last November.
Do you remember what date she brought it into you?
Probably the 16th of November, but it wasn't for an oil change.
What was it for?
It was to change the struts on her car. She had gone to another mechanic and told her that they need to be replaced.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, we'll go.
Hold on. So you remember this incident with her? She brought it in and told you she had been to another mechanic?
That's not true.
Just a second. Had she used your services before with other cars?
With the same car.
Same car?
Correct.
Oh, so when she brought this car into you in mid-November of last year, you had worked on this car before?
Correct.
Oh, interesting. What kind of work had you done on the car before?
An oil change, and I believe brakes. At one point, I don't remember if it was brakes for sure, but I mean, she would come to me every now and then whenever she had little bigger jobs, not like small jobs, but she has come in for oil change before.
May I speak?
Just a second. Let's start back. Before you went to him last November for this oil change, had you ever been to his shop before?
Yes.
That's either... Right.
Yes,
yes,
I went there right when I first moved to LA because I wanted to get my windows tinted.
So you had been to his shop before?
Mm-hmm. And he was, like, nice. I thought he was trustworthy.
I don't care. That's all very LA. It's not important to me whether you thought he was a nice man or not nice man, whether he was nice to his family, whether he separated his trash. It's all for the purpose of this. You had been to this mechanic before. You went to him November of last year. You say for an oil change. He says you came there because another mechanic had told you you needed different kind of work on your car. And I'm asking you, young lady, whether another mechanic, before you brought it to him in November of 2016, told you you needed additional kind of work on your car.
No.
No.
He's the only mechanic I've seen in the whole city, except for the other mechanic that I went to. I have proof that I went to Honda after he did the repairs on the
so
shop.
what you're saying is you had never come to him other than having your windows tinted. You came to him to have
and the oil change, I think.
Okay. So you went to him, and he said you needed new shocks or struts or whatever they were. Shocks?
Yeah, he said I needed new shocks.
Okay.
And I have a bank statement here. He said he wanted cash. So I took out...
Just a second. Said you needed to have the shocks replaced.
Yes.
On your car that is 14 years old, that has 200,000 miles. And so far it was running okay, so you said, how much is it, right? How much will that cost? And what did he tell you it would cost?
$900.
Okay.